Welcome to the video. Today we're going to be making this heart tote bag. It's super simple and looks stunning. You want to begin by getting your yarn and chaining 119. We begin with a slip knot, put our hook through, and begin the chaining. Because this bag is circular, we want to connect the two sides of our chain. Make sure the chain isn't flipped and it's the right way around. So we're just going to go into the very first chain we've made and put a slip stitch through that one. Start the row with the chain of 3, 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to place 2 double crochets into the same stitch that we just did our chain in. This is 1 and 2. Now you're going to chain 4. You're going to skip 4 stitches, and into the 5th one we're going to work a double crochet. And into the next 6 stitches we're also going to be working double crochets, so in total we have 7 double crochets. Chain 4, skip 4, and into the 5th stitch we want to do 3 double crochets all together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we put our 3 double crochets there. So this is the first one, second one, and third one. Now we're going to repeat the pattern. So after this you're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, skip 4, and into the 5th stitch we're going to be working a double crochet. And we're going to do 6 more double crochets into the next 6 stitches. So in total we have 7. Now we chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, we skip 4, and into the 5th we do our 3 double crochets. Now chain 4 and repeat the pattern as before. To end the round, I'm chaining 4 and I'm going into the top of the chain 3 we did in the beginning and placing a slip knot into that. We begin row 2 with a chain of 3 and then 1 double crochet into the same stitch. Then we place a double crochet into the next stitch. And 2 double crochets into the last stitch. Now chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to do double crochets together. So into this stack of 7 double crochets, you're going to put your hook through, yarn through, pull through 2 loops on your hook. Into the next loop, you're going to pull through your yarn through 2, so you have 3 on your hook. Next one, pull through 2, 4 in your hook, and this is the last one. So you put your hook through, yarn through, pull through 2, so you have 5 on your hook, and now you yarn through all of them on one singular chain. Now we're going to do exactly the same thing, so chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to go into exactly the same stitch which we just finished from, and we're going to pull through 2, again into the next one, pull through 2, pull through 2 in the next one, and into the last one. And then we pull through all the 5 chains on our hook. Now chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And into the next stitch, we're going to place 2 double crochets into the first. Here's 1 and 2. Then a double crochet into the middle. And 2 double crochets into the last double crochet. And now we just repeat the pattern as before. So we're going to be chaining 4. And we're going to do the joint double crochets in this little island that we have. This just forms the heart, so 2 loops, 3 loops, 4 loops, and our final 5th loop, and pull through all of them, chain 4, and into that same stitch we're going to do exactly the same thing. Now you want to repeat this pattern all throughout this row. By the end you want to chain 4, and you're going to slip stitch into the top of our first chain of 3. And now we're going to be beginning row 3. To end this row, we chain 4 and we do a slip stitch into the top of the third chain of 3 that we did in the start. And now we're just going to be doing a repetition of our previous rows, but in a slightly different location. So we're going to be doing like the tops of our hearts. So we begin with a chain of 3, and now we're going to be doing the combined double crochets to create the little dome. So pull through 2, pull through 2, so we have 3 loops in our hook, And then in this last one, so we have 4 loops on our hook, and I will pull through all of them because the chain of 3 that we did in the beginning counts as the first double crochet. Then we chain 4, and now we do the usual 5 on the hook and yarn through. Then we chain 4. We go into the beginning of the little heart with 2 double crochets, 1 double crochet and 2 double crochet. So 2 double crochet in the first stitch, a double crochet into the middle, and then 2 double crochet in the last stitch. Now we do a chain of 4, and we do the little heart domes by doing incomplete double crochets into 5 of the chains, and then we pull through the 5. You want to end the row by chaining 4, and we're going to go into the top of the chain 3 we did previously. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh, I'm not sure why I said 4, it's 3. So we slip stitch, and now we do a chain of 3, excuse me. So 1, 2, 3, and then you do a chain of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 counts as the rising, 4 counts as the gap, and then we go into the 3rd stitch of our heart in the middle, and we do 3 double crochets into that. Essentially what we're doing is just repeating the previous rows, but in different locations. So at the start of any row now, you want to chain 3 and chain 4 for the rising chain. build your bag up to your desired height, but leave around 4 centimeters to do a couple rows of single crochets. That just makes sure the bag looks neater and has some structure to it. I cut off my yarn by accident, but if you didn't cut off your yarn, skip the step I'm doing right now. So I'm pulling through and I'm doing a chain of 1. And now we're just going to do single crochets in every single chain around our project. Join each row with a slip stitch into the very first chain. For the next row, you want to chain 1 and again do the same exact thing. You want to do this until you have around 4 or 5 centimeters of this lining. I'm done and I cut off my yarn, so now we're going to be turning the bag inside out and we're going to be joining the bottom. So make sure that your little single crochets are on top and that the gap is on the bottom. So now we're just going to be joining the bottom with just some slip stitches. So to do this, you're going to insert your yarn needle or your hook in here, pull through your yarn, and just do slip stitches all around. Make sure they're very precise and they match on each side. Now moving on to the handle, this is how it will look like. And in order to make it, it's going to be super easy. You're just going to take your yarn, take your hook and make 7 chains. Then you're going to single crochet all through the row. 1, 2, you should have 6 single crochets. Then to begin a new row, you want to chain 1 and again do single crochets, and you're just going to repeat this for as long as you want your handles to be. Just keep in mind that you want to make your handles a little bit shorter than meant to be because they're going to stretch. To attach the handles, you still want to keep the bag on the wrong side up, so you measure the same distance from each side in order to put the handles to make sure that your bag is symmetrical. I'm just putting some clippers to make sure I have the right location for that, and I'm doing 10 centimeters from each side. Then I'm going to be taking one of my handles and I'm going to be attaching it on one side, so you want to face it the wrong side up as well. And we're just going to take off our clip. I'm going to be taking my yarn needle and just stitching my handle right into place. I'm going to do it twice just to make sure that it's nice and sturdy. So moving it through, and I like to do this little trick where I put my needle through the beginning of my yarn just to make sure it stays in place. And we're going to stitch along in one direction. And then we stitch through into the other direction as well. Then I tie a couple of knots with my yarn to make sure the bag is sturdy once again. And after like 3 or 4 knots, you can cut your yarn off, and we're going to be doing exactly the same thing on the other handle and on the other side. Just when you're attaching the other handle, make sure that it's on the right side, so it's not flipped or twisted or anything, because that's going to be a disaster to unravel. And we just essentially did the same thing. Once you're done, you want to turn your bag inside out, and you can make a lining even. And this is it. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe.